So folks, it's a week or so since I went up to a bike thing and had loads of mods fitted to my BMW R1250GS, and today is the first ride I've had on the bike since I had those mods done. So we're going to go out, give it a ride, see what difference things like the fancy Denali lights, Jekyll Hyde exhaust and all the other bits and bobs I had done make. So stick around, stay tuned, let's give them a try out. Hey kids, it's Mr. Fly here, hope you're well. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the mighty BMW R1250GS, complete with its mods. This is genuinely the first ride I've had on the bike since I took her up. I said up north, sort of Midlandsy, up to Tamworth to a bike thing to get those bits and pieces fitted to the bike. I'm really looking forward to seeing how they all operate in this video. I shall demonstrate them all to you, but let's start off with a bit of a reminder of what I had fitted. Right, isn't that bike looking absolutely stonking? I think this particular GS in the black, the triple black, now with the black exhaust, which is one of those things I had fitted, looks absolutely cracking. Unfortunately, it's a little bit damp on the roads today, so she's a little bit muddy, so I apologise for that. But let's just walk you through, in case you didn't see that previous video, of the things that I've had fitted to it recently and the things I wanted to test ride today. So first up, and the big deal, is the Jekyll Hyde exhaust. I wanted it mainly because, and this is sad I know, because it's black and it goes with the triple black look. I love the bit of carbon that it's got on there, and I think it just looks great. It sits quite neatly, as it happens, between my behind my SW Motec pannier carrier. You can see already it's got quite dirty down there. The exhaust itself's got a lovely end cap on it, carbon fibre, looks lovely. I love all this finishing. You can see the flaps that do the operation. I think you can see them down there, and I think it looks absolutely fab. It's called Jekyll Hyde, of course, because it has two characters. There's a button installed. If we come around here, button installed just here that you press, which takes it from loud to soft. We'll see that in action in a minute. The only downside of this thing is when the thing, I didn't realise, but if you look, if you turn the handlebars full round, can you just see there's two little scratches on the tank. They are going to really annoy me, where that button has impacted the tank and taken a couple of little chips, I don't know if you can see them, out of there. That's going to really wind me up. So that's a slight black mark about the whole arrangement, but other than that, I think it looks great. Moving down, we've got these amazing, these are from Gilles, Gilles, so this is obviously the brake lever. It is adjustable, it just looks beautiful, made out of billet metal, and it looks lovely. And we've got the matching foot pegs. These are sort of enduro type foot pegs with a nice grippy top and lots of surface area, so looking forward to seeing if I notice any difference using those. Coming around the front, something else that I've always loved, these Denali C3 lights. Again, looking a bit messy now, apologies for that, but I love the way these look. They're sort of running lights when you have the bike running normally. These become indicators when you indicate, and I think they just look stunning. If you don't like these orange bits, I like them because they match the orange of the indicators when you're running. You can just unclip them and have them without the orange bits if you want. Then the other thing I had done, if you look at these BMW badges, you can see they're slightly raised. That is because behind that there are repeaters. In fact, if I bring the bike alive, can you see that? They act as indicators, and also they go, I've got the hazard lights at the moment, but if it's not hazard lights, then when the bike's running, it glows as a white running light. I just think they look really cool. There you go, there's the white running light, looks absolutely fab. Alrighty, what else to show you around here? Nothing there. Oh, the other thing that I had done was on the back, this additional brake light just makes things a little bit more visible. Hopefully you can see that through the camera. Got a few issues with the refresh rates. I interrupt this video from the recording suite where I'm doing the editing of it, and I realise, of course, looking at the footage, that the lights never show quite correctly. Now, I must say, I did realise this while I was out on the bike, and I do mention it in the video, but I tried 3 different cameras. I tried my Osmo Action 5 Pro, which is the one on my helmet. I used my Osmo Pocket, and I used my iPhone camera, all on different settings, but no matter what I did, I still got some sort of those weird artifacts with the lights. So rest assured, they do look absolutely solid and super bright in real life. They don't do all that weird stripy, stroby stuff. Well, the strobing stuff they do when you want it to, but normally they look absolutely great. There's no way around making my cameras work. Anyway, just thought I'd better explain that. Right, back to the video. And also had these pre-programmed using something called a can't remember, ViceSmart, something like that, as basically an electronic gizmo that means that these lights now operate, the three of them, this as a proper running light all the time, and then these go out appropriately when you're indicating. It just makes more logical sense than the BMW setup, which is something that lots of people complain about. So it's a safety thing more than anything. Anyway, so that's what I had fitted. The trick today is to ride the bike, see how they all work. Okay, to the ride then. Let's start off with a little ride down this road. It's a bit busy today, which is annoying. And check out this new exhaust. So at the moment, this is in the as the bike starts mode. So this is quiet mode at the moment. And I don't expect you to hear too much actually through the microphone on this camera. I use the Osmo Action 5 Pro, and they're not great at picking up engine noises. But take it from me, in this quiet mode, it just sounds nice. It's got a nice note about it. It's not in any way annoying. Doesn't wake up the neighbours when you start the bike, and I think we'll be absolutely fine when going on tour. So very happy about that. So move it into the more beast mode, which I don't know if that's the Jekyll or Hyde mode. I don't know which one's the beast mode, but you press this button here. So if I press that now, it flashes to show the little flaps opening, and I can immediately hear the engine has now got a slightly deeper rumble. Now unfortunately I might get a bit stuck in this traffic. I'll see where this traffic's all going, and I'll open it up on this road here, and maybe, I'm hoping, you'll hear a difference. Right, all the vans are going that way, so I shall go this way. Right, here we go, let's give her the beans. I'm hoping you can hear the difference there. It's immediately got a lower, throatier rumble to it, and every now and then you get some crackles and pops out the back. It does sound great actually, and what I'm really pleased about is it is not obnoxiously loud. It's not going to be one of those bikes that as it goes past you, people think, listen to that idiot showing off. It's just got a nice note. Like that a lot. That is going to be absolutely perfect. I think, you know what, I think you could go touring with that and it wouldn't be too much of a pain. What I found in the past when with my old GS with an aftermarket exhaust that was sort of decatted, it was just too loud. In the end I had to swap it back because when I was going on tour it was driving me mad. But I don't think this is going to be too bad, you know. It's just got a fruity note to it. Sounds good. Very, very pleased with that. What an absolute winner. I'll probably always have it on the loud setting because it's just good fun. Let's see if I can get in those crackles and pops. A bit careful, some wet leaves and stuff around here. It's spitting and spluttering at the back again. You may not be able to hear it very well on the camera, which is a shame, but I'll have to take my word for it. It's an absolute winner. Right, let's get past this fella. I'm liking that a lot. Alright, let's try another demo while I'm on the move. In fact, let's go back to quiet mode, because the next demo does involve, there we go, suddenly I'll lose the sort of deeper bits of timber in the exhaust. And she goes quiet again. Let's just give her a rev. It just sounds like a GS again now. Anyway, I hope the microphone picked up some of that. Right, next up is another sound thing, because I had the sound bomb, the Denali sound bomb, which is sort of the air horn fitted to the bike. And oh, nice Jaguar. And I had that fitted in a clever way, such that if I just press the horn normally, it just uses if I just do like a pip pip, it just uses the normal horn that you get on the GS. I'll demonstrate that now. See, the normal peep peep. However, if I want to do a blast, if I hold the horn, that's when it goes loud. Listen to this. Hear that? So that gives you the ability to, you know, if you're just waving out at grandma to say come on ahead of me, you can just do a pip pip. Or if you really want to blast somebody because they've just pulled out and you want to, you know, make people know that you're there, then you can hold it on and you get the full blast of that air horn sound. So that's an absolute winner. When that horn goes off, you also get the lights flashing. I'll show you that in a sec. In fact, let me show you that now. Alright, I've just stopped here on the side of the road. Possibly not the best place in the world to demo this, but anyway, let me show you the way these lights work together with that horn. So, sorry, it's very noisy out here. Let's just bring the bike to life. Start her up without my helmet dropping on the floor. Right, there we go. So, in fact, let me put my helmet down there. Right, so when the engine's running, this is what the lights look like. All cool. So the Denalis are on as running lights at this point. But when I do the horn, let me show you what happens. I'm going to try and extend my arm while I do it. Hang on, see if this works. Ready? Here we go. You get the flashing lights as well, and I almost deafened myself in the right ear there as the air horn activated, but you get the idea. Anyway, while we're here, let me also show you the way that the hazard lights work on here, because when you turn the hazard lights on now, these lights all alternate. So let me show you that now. Bring the hazards on. Check that out. And not only are we getting these alternating, but you can see we've also got the side repeaters going as well. How cool does that look? And if we look at the back end, there we go, we can see the hazards in operation there. Fab. Should we see if we can demonstrate the noise of the Jekyll Hyde with the microphone on me? Let's see if we get much of an effect from here. Hang on. So that's standard mode. Let me hit the button. There we go. Immediately goes deeper. Let me try not to drop this camera on the floor. We'll try the loud mode now. Hopefully that might be a bit clearer than when we did it with the helmet. All right, I'm not in a great spot here. I'll get back on the bike and we'll talk some more. Okay, so it turns out that was the most rubbish demo of lights known to man, because just after I did that little bit of filming, gosh, this is a very busy bit of road here to leap out onto. Just after I did that bit of record, I thought, well, I better just watch that back. Which I did on my DJI Osmo. And I noticed that, in fact, because of the frame rates that the camera was set to, you can't really see the lights on in their proper, you know, their refresh rate, hello sir, is the same as the camera. So it was a rubbish demo. Take it from me, the lights were on as I said they were, even though you couldn't properly see them there. So let's give you a proper demo of what the lights are about. This will definitely work. Instead of looking at the bike from the front, let's immediately switch to night time and show you actually what the lights are all about and show you what they look like at night. And as if by magic, I've made it night time for you as promised. Now, I'm not usually somebody that rides at night too much by choice, but sometimes you get caught out, don't you? So it's good to have decent lights if you need them. And these days of these high-tech cameras, like my little Osmo Action 5, even though it's not great at picking up what lights look like due to its refresh rates, it does do quite a good job of showing you light spread. So this is the BMW on dip with those Denali C5, C7, whatever they are, lights on in dip mode, or daylight running mode they're in basically when you're on dip. And does a pretty good job of lighting up the road ahead. I've certainly had cars in the past that have had lesser lights than that. My old TVR S springs to mind. Anyway, it is pitch black out here, even though the camera may be showing it slightly light. It's not, it is properly dark. So there we go. So that's dip. Let's now go full on then. Look at that. That's with the lights at full beam. Now, I'm not exaggerating at all to say those are by far the best lights I've ever seen on a motorcycle. They are a lot better than many cars I've driven and owned. That is absolutely amazing. So let's dip. Yeah, it's fine. Full beam, absolutely staggering. They are like riding with the sun underneath the cowling. Absolutely incredible. The only problem is they're going to dazzle people like hell, so you've got to be quick on the old dipper. When they're running at daytime riding mode, which is that level of light, They're running, I think they were set at 10%. You can decide how bright you want them. I think we sent them for 10 because we thought that was bright enough, and I agree. But then when you go here, and that's on to 100%, you can see how bright that goes. But let's not dazzle that oncoming traffic. Alright, I'm going to go and find a local car park and just show you, this might be foolhardy, but show you what the lights look like for what it's worth when the bike's parked up and running at night. So I'll speak to you in a second. Right, here we are, a suitably dark car park. Let's just come around and turn the bike round and show you what these things look like. Alright, so here's the bike in its sort of running mode, if you like, from the front. I'm hoping you can see these lights better this time. I don't know why the refresh rate should be any different to daylight, but let's hope it is, otherwise you'll just be looking at a pitch black screen. So there we go, that's what it's like when you're running along during the day. With the normal dipped lights, I should say, on. Right, we put it to full beam. Check that out. Absolutely, oh my god, it's just stunningly bright. You do not want to dazzle people with that, as I just did that car coming in there. Absolutely incredible. Let's, for a laugh, try the hazard lights, if only I can remember where the hazard light button is. Thank you, BMW, for not lighting the switchgear on the bike. Is it up here somewhere? Let's not hit the SOS one. Is that the hazard lights? No, I don't know what that is. What does that do? Oh, it's riding mode and stuff. Oh god, where are the hazard lights on this thing? Oh, why don't they give you lit switchgear? This is the problem, isn't it? Is it around here somewhere? Look here, is that it? There we go. Right, okay, let's check these out. It's rather cool, isn't it? God, I love these things. Wowza. Absolutely blinding. Brilliant. Loving that. Anyway, that's what the fancy new lights look like at night time. Alrighty, welcome back. So hopefully that time it was a slightly better demo of what the lights look like. Alrighty, it's actually a bit of a slippy old down the roads because there's a lot of leaves about, it being autumn still. But the roads are dry-ish, and it's actually quite warm. It's about 16 degrees, which for the time of year ain't bad at all. I'm just going to enjoy riding around a bit on the GS with going nowhere in particular, because I haven't been on this bike for a little bit of time, and it's just reminds me whenever I jump on one of my own bikes how flipping good they are. This is such a comfortable bike, and with the heated grips and the heated seat on as I've got at the moment, even though I don't really need them, it is completely luxurious. I love it. But before I say cheerio, I'm going to have a little black down here. Just try that exhaust out again on a slightly faster road. So let's turn it to louder mode so you hear what it sounds like at the moment. Actually, it was already in loud mode. That went quieter then, did you hear that? Hilarious. So that would be something that would be good about the Jekyll Hyde exhaust, if you could tell what mode it was in by the lighting on the button when you actually change it. So at the moment, it sounds quiet to me. Press the button, you can see the flaps moving. Right now, yeah, it's a lot lower when you give it the beans. I'm hoping when I did my NAF lights demonstration that the exhaust demo was better, because it definitely sounds louder when you're, you know, standing at the side of the bike than it does when you're actually on the bike riding. And that for me is actually a good thing, because it is possible to have too loud an exhaust. Anyway, the bike is now fully equipped for me to go on a decent tour. I can't really think of anything else that I want to add to this bike. I always wanted to get some decent auxiliary lights on it when I bought it. Not that there's anything terribly wrong with the BMW ones, it's just I've always loved the looks of those Denali ones, and they certainly throw out a lot of light. I'm glad I've got back the functionality of those CanSmart devices. On my old GS I used to have, what was it called then? It was called something else, but it did the same thing. And I loved, you know, the flashing of the hazard lights and all that sort of thing, even though I gave you a rubbish demo of that. And and the fact that the lights strobe when you hit the horn, that's all thanks to those CanSmart devices. I haven't shown you, for obvious reasons, the rear light I've got on here now, and the programming that's been done on the indicators that means that when you brake, if you indicate at the same time, that brake light goes off on that side, so you can clearly see the indicator, which is not what happens as standard on BMWs of this type, or indeed the newer ones, the 1300s. With those, if you're in the scenario where you're coming up to a corner and you're braking, your brake lights will be on, which are on the indicators, and they can overcome the indicators themselves, which is just a rubbish bit of design, I think. I haven't chosen good here, have I? I'm just going to be stuck behind this van forever. So I'm glad I got that done as well, although of course it doesn't actually benefit me sat on this bike, that's more for visibility for other people. I have to say the foot pegs and so on feel great on here, as does the brake and gear lever for that I had the Gilles ones fitted. I don't feel I'm not getting any, actually I don't feel any different to the other ones, actually they look much better, but my point is they're not getting in the way, they're not noticeable, so that's a good thing. And then the actual foot pegs themselves, the really grippy ones, if anything they are slightly improvement in terms of comfort, because they give your foot a bigger plate to sit on. I was a little bit worried they might be a bit too grippy into the sort of soles of my boots, because they're quite sharp at the top of them, but that isn't the case. My feet are moving around on them fine. And the other thing I was worried was by not having the rubber I'd get more vibrations through, but again that's not the case either. They feel absolutely fine, so dead happy with those foot pegs. If I stand up on them, they definitely feel much more spacious. It feels more like I'm stood on a platform as opposed to a peg, you know what I mean? So hopefully in the future, when I get my just trying not to mention it, but my shoulder issue fixed and I can go off-road again, or at least do some light trails, and stood up on the bike on those pegs will be a definite improvement. Loving it. Alright, so as far as I'm concerned, I've now got peak GS, nothing else really to do on it, maybe some little cosmetic bits and pieces, but nothing that's going to annoy me. So really chuffed with the bike. I just got to get my shoulder sorted out so I can get out and use the damn thing for what it's intended for. Longer trips and tours, Mrs. Flyer on the back, maybe a bit of the odd dirt road. I'd like to actually take it down to Salisbury Plain in the summer and black around those dirt tracks. That would be brilliant fun. Losing the beamer, excellent. Hey, front wheel went a little bit light there, excellent. Hello ladies, thank you. Right, I'm going to go enjoy my purchases a little more. Hope that was of some interest. Just a bit of a unstructured rambling thing, but sometimes the sort of videos I like to watch. That's a bit sad, isn't it? Anyway, look forward to speaking to you next time. Until then, this has been the Mr. Flyer. Cheerio.